Let's talk about it, shall we? My plan of attack with this topic is to first pander to the red pill manosphere guys by repeating a whole bunch of things that they've heard 1,000 times, but they just like to hear it. About 3 minutes in or so, they're going to start to flake off because either the video is too long and I'm talking too much, or I'm starting to present different ways of thinking about this topic that they just typically don't like. A lot of these people like to hear the same thing over and over. So if you're one of those people, well, I'll see you when I see you. But before we get started, so you don't say I don't bring a lot of variety to my channel, we're going to go National Geographic real.
Today's audience, we have a lizard.
Started. Body count is one of those things that is very divisive amongst our ranks, especially in the casual dating world. Red Pill has a lot of things about this. Feminist podcasts have a lot of things about this. When they come together and they just bicker and argue for our entertainment, have a bunch of conflicting views on this conversation, right? Now, let me start off with the thing that I do believe holds some merit. The old saying goes, and I've said this before, the key that can open many locks is a dope key. But the lock that opens to every key is a shitty lock. This statement goes towards the double standard when it comes to body count, right? This is one of the double standards that is actually in benefit of men, right? Once again, we're going very surface level with this, and then we're going to dig our way down. So ladies, you have to understand that in the typical world, a lot of men do find a woman with a higher body count to be easy, to be a hoe, to be a whore. She's for the streets. I'm gonna defend y'all in a second, But you have to also understand, well, if it's easy access, why wouldn't men gravitate towards you? You see? So women with a high body count typically want to get defensive when this conversation is brought up because, well, just because I'm being sexually free and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I agree with you. Just because you're sexually expressive, you should not be judged for that. But you have to also realize something, ladies. Who is it easier for to acquire sex in the casual dating world these days? Right? We all know the answer to that. It's women. One of the things that some of you ladies do not understand just yet is true loneliness, touch deprivation, right? Some of you, if you never know this, and some of you will never know this, and you think that you're as lonely as some of the men out here. I can speak for it because I find myself to be a very lonely individual at times. To me, it's my strength, but for other people that haven't learned how to alchemize that into something beneficial, this is something that really does plague men. And you'd be like, well, women are just as lonely as you. I haven't had a date and blah, 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 blah. But you do realize, ladies, that at the snap of your fingers, somebody will come fill you up. Or if you don't want to go that far, somebody will come be in your bed. You know what I'm saying? Someone will lay with you. Someone will give you the time of day. Sure. Is it for an ulterior motive? Yeah. Is it the attention that you want? No. Is it the touch of a man that you want? Probably not. But you always have that option, right? Some men are invisible to y'all. And that is the things that you have to realize. So when men come at y'all with that a little to your defense, with that hostile energy, you have to realize that it's coming from a place of hurt. But men are hurting, and some of y'all need to understand that, right? Now, we're going to play ping pong with this. Fellas, one of the arguments that I always bring up, though, is that y'all will be so quick to judge a woman with a high body count. But, well, let me just ask the question, what is a high body count? It's a subjective number. It's a made-up number. Let me go real quick back to ladies. Now, because you know that this number is such a judgmental thing amongst us men, ladies, what do y'all tend to do when it comes to your body count? You tend to drop that number down a few, right? If you've been with, hyperbolically speaking, if you've been with 50 dudes, you've been with 4. You've been with 100 dudes, you've been with 4. You've been with 15 dudes, you've been with 4. And then if you've been with 1 or 2 guys, then you're a liar in men's eyes. Tell me where I'm wrong, gentlemen. Tell me where I'm wrong. So, gentlemen, that is where we do realize, because of that weird standard, we do have to realize that, okay, A lot of people are uncomfortable with this conversation because of you, the so-called leaders, the so-called, protectors and providers, the ones that provide guidance for women. Why do we judge a woman based off of her past? Well, her past dictates her present, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I've seen the Fresh and Fit podcast too. I know. I'm a man that can think for himself. So my thing with it is, going back to my original question, what is a high number? Some of y'all say, if she has 5 bodies, she's a whore. 5 bodies. I thought we were the logical thinkers. I thought we used logic and rationale to make all of our decisions. So 5. So realistically speaking, once again, everyone can have their own viewpoint on this. Let's just say my number always varies because sometimes I want to be, conservative because of the conversations, the sexual conversations always make the number 18. But realistically speaking, having a mature conversation, most people begin becoming sexually active around high school, maybe around, let's just say, even still being conservative, around 16 years old, right? 15, 16 years old. So that's what? Junior, senior year of high school? That sounds pretty fair to say, right? So 15, and I'll lowball it. Let's just say 15 to 25. That's 10 years, right? So from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 10 years, right? So if she has a body count of 10, she's automatically a whore in your eyes because she caught 1 body per year. Now, once again, we can have differences of opinion here, but I'm sorry, that don't make no sense to me. She's a whore because she caught 1 body per year. In 365 days, she chose to lay down with 1 person, and she's a whore. See, that don't make no sense. That's the type of stuff that I'd be like, fellas, you watch all this content, but have you really thought about things real quick? Now, if you are a pure and a clear of heart type of person, and that's what you want, then sure, go for it. If you want that virgin child, let me watch my words with that one. If you want that virgin woman, you know what I'm saying, and you want her to be pure and all that type of stuff, when you know yourself you're a scumbag, when you know yourself that you have mental traumas, when you are plagued with your own psychological shortcomings, does that sound fair? Well, it's not fair for... I ain't talking about them. I'm talking to you, good sir. That's the type of stuff that you have to really sit down with yourself and be like, what's realistic? Because you will be the same ones that want this pure woman, this virgin, this only has a very low body count, but you want her to do that freak nasty shit that you saw in your pornography. Now, how's she going to get that experience if she's this pure woman that you want? You see what I'm saying? I'm just asking questions from the bleachers. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the sidelines just asking y'all some questions, all right? So my thing is, though, coming back to y'all ladies, though, if body count doesn't matter the way that y'all propose it, why is it that if I were to ask you, and I've used this example before, what color are your jeans? Blue. What color is your shirt? White. What color is your skin? Brown, black, white, so-called yellow, all that type of stuff, whatever, right? What color is your hair? Whatever hell color y'all dyed it, or, whatever weave y'all got on, whatever, don't matter, right? So easy questions, right? Those are things that imply that it doesn't really matter that information gets out. But then if we ask you that question, what's your body count? All of a sudden, y'all want to be private. Y'all were just sucking dick on camera on the OnlyFans. Y'all were just talking about how you was popping that pussy for anyone that was worth your time. But then when we ask how many times you've actually done it, it's a problem. Let me use the same thing. How many times have you eaten burgers? Oh my God, hundreds, thousands. How many times have you had smoothies? Hundreds, thousands of times. How many times you sucked dick? I don't think that's proper information to be sharing out with the world. But that doesn't matter though. So if it doesn't matter, why can't you? Okay, so ladies, clearly that does matter. So I operate from both standards of it. If it does matter, maybe you should be a little bit more sparing with the pussy. Maybe you shouldn't just be giving it up because this guy has pictures of a Bugatti and he has a bunch of money. Maybe you shouldn't be giving it up to someone that is toxic, but he can throw some mean dick. I'm just speaking from a different perspective. But then also too, on the other side of it is I'm not here for all these like saintly women and all that type of stuff. I'm just saying, be about your business. You see, some of the influences in my life are strong women that are very sexual. And when they tell me their stories, they be telling me how they just be running game on dudes. And now I get it. Now there's a double standard with that I'm gonna just throw in here real quick. Ladies, some of y'all think that you're running men. Oh shit, the dick was lame anyway. Oh, blah 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 blah. Oh, he couldn't even do it. I didn't even know if it was in. But at the end of the day, ladies, that's an uphill fight for you, because at the end of the day, ladies, fellas, come on, join in with me with this. We won. We smashed. And that's just a double standard that some of y'all have to come to grips with. I know that some of y'all have a rebuttal with that. That is perfectly viable and is an easy clap back to that. And I would actually love to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be prepared in all avenues with this conversation. But that is just a very base level argument that is going to come your way. Now, you have to realize something. Yeah, oh, I didn't even feel it. Oh, I didn't even know that, but we still hit. And you have to take that one. But anyway, you know, I really do like find value in the woman that owns her shit. Yeah, or let's just say you had a past. Yeah, I had a past. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I was trying to find love in all the wrong places, blah, 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 blah. And this is that level of compassion that men need to have. Because men, if a woman were to come up to you and to tell you, look, I'm not like that anymore, but I do indeed have a past. So if you did ask me that question, my body count is, let's just say 20. I'm just throwing a number out there. You know, my number is 20 because in the immature male's mind, we see all 20 of those dudes with you in the room at one time. Excuse me. That's the immature man's mind, right? The other thing about the immature man is that we are very ego-based. You know, speaking from the old perspective of me, we're very ego-based, and we want to feel special. I don't care what man says. We want to feel special. We want to feel like it's ours. Whose pussy is it? Some of y'all have heard that type of shit, you know? So, you know, fellas, when a woman is actually mature enough and when she actually owns her past and she just says, hey, look, this is my past. I'm not like that now. And she actually means it. Ladies, I know some of y'all bet, he's spitting. No. When you actually mean it, you know, he's saying that they have a past and they actually open up to you. They tell you about this. Are you going to punish her for that? You're going to punish her for that, for being a mature woman that you're always talking about, a virtuous woman. Well, she can't be virtuous if she did this. Fam, I mean, some of y'all are still trying to control yourself by not watching pornography every 10 seconds. Do you dare judge a woman for being mature and opening up to you in that regard? Right? You see what I'm saying now? This conversation can go on forever, but let me just speak on my points. You know, let me speak on my position on this. Does body count matter? No. Asterisk, to an extent. What do I mean by that? There is no set number necessarily in my mind, right? It's all about the individual that is in front of me at the moment. If I find out she's a virgin, cool. I feel a pressure with that because it's like, okay, losing your virginity is a big deal. That is something I actually do not have experience with. I've never been with a girl that was a virgin, so I wouldn't know about this. So for me, it's a big deal. That shit makes my heart beat in like a scared kind of way, kind of nervous type of way. I'm like, okay, now I'm willing to accept this responsibility, but let me make sure that I'm the right guy for you. Let's make sure everything is cool and we really have this bond and all this type of stuff. Let's make sure everything's right. Let's cross our T's and dot our I's. You know what I'm saying? Because as a man, I consider that a huge responsibility, right? Because you will always remember me for the rest of your life, right? But then, you know, let's just say that, like, realistically speaking, someone's had some sexual experience and whatever and blah, 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 blah. Come to find out she had a past, and let's just say let's just go with that arbitrary number, that 20, 50. Let's make it high. Let's say 50. She's been with 50 dudes, and she comes to me. We have a true connection, all the above and all the et ceteras. And she tells me that. And I'm like, okay, now, listen, I'm glad that you were able to tell me that, but that number is a little high. That number's a little high. So let's have a true conversation. You know, no gloves off conversation, no punches pulled. I have to ask some questions. You ask the questions you needed of me, and then let's see if we can actually move forward in a healthy way. You know, one of the facts that I hear is like, you know, like it messes up your ability to pair bond when you have too many partners. Now, I believe that to an extent. In a lost woman, I believe so. Just like how there's lost men, ladies, don't get mad. You know, like there's just like how there's lost women, lost men, and a lost woman. I do believe that pair bonding stuff, because the chemicals, all that type of stuff, that's the chemical imbalances, all the energies that you're taking in from sexual energy exchange at the spiritual aspect of sex. You know, I get that. But I do believe that a woman that is ready to heal, a woman that has healed from her wounds in the past, but she has now learned how to alchemize that, transform that into lessons learned, that she is now healed from and she is adopted into who she is today. I believe, of course, that there is a possibility of being able to progress to higher levels of a relationship, right? This is the mature standpoint that we need to have. Truly. It really is. And I do believe there's a lot of work to be done in this space in regards to that conversation, to this conversation. But let me know your thoughts. I hope I was articulate enough in this video to get my ideas across. And of course, we need to remember that I couldn't get every single thing off. But if you want your ideas known, feel free to share them in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Until the next one, y'all, peace.